What's up, everybody? You got Tone here, and I'm bringing you MPL Season number 5, Week number 3. This week, we are taking on Blue Rogue and his team, the AFC Wormadam, in a match between two winless teams in the bottom of the conference. Now, our losses have been very, very slim. A 1-0 loss and a 2-0 loss in last week's game against Hera. And here we are trying to right the ship this week against Blue Rogue. We have played Rogue previous times in the past, but they were both like off-season battles and like little side battles. So this is the first time we are going to be battling Rogue in Draft League format in the regular season playoffs or otherwise. He's also a very accomplished battler. He is the PMC Season 3 champion, so he has the champion under his belt. Very formidable battler and a very, very cool guy in general. I encourage you guys to check him out and subscribe if you haven't done so already. And his team is just ridiculous how he managed to get a team like this. So it's very, very difficult for me to prep for his entire team, albeit a little bit of not unnecessary, but more like uncommon Pokemon I wasn't thinking that he would bring. So just to run down his team in general from top to bottom in no particular order. His team consists of Jirachi, Clefable, Salamence, so he already has a very, very devastating Dragon Fairy Steel Core, Chandelure, Blastoise, Amoonguss, 3 Pokemon that he's very, very well acquainted with. He has Mega Pidgeot, he has Electivire, Scrafty, and he has a Shelmet. And his Zmons, his Super Zmon users are Jirachi and Shelmet, and his offensive Zmon is Salamence. So his team is very, very scary, and I forgot to mention Mamoswine, which he did bring in this battle. So yeah, his team is very, very formidable, very, very threatening from top to bottom, not going to lie. Now, he did bring a couple of things that I wasn't expecting in this battle. Mainly, I was not expecting the Scrafty. I was expecting more of either the Amoonguss or the Chandelure to come. And I was kind of expecting Salamence to be there, more likely over Mega Pidgeot, or potentially Blastoise, but it is what it is. I tried to prep for everything that he brought, every potential Pokemon he could bring, so I'm not going to complain about what he didn't bring or whatnot. So I'm just going to quickly run down the team that I brought to try to counteract his. So first off, we have a Choice Specs Primarina, max HP, max attack, 4 speed, with Hydro Pump, Hydro Pump, Moonblast, Psychic, because he has an Amoonguss, and Scald. Next up, we have a Weavile, an Expert Built Weavile, no Choice Band, with Swords Dance, Ice Shard, Icicle Crash, and Knockoff. And then we have a Life Orb, Tornado Styrian, with Hurricane, Heat Wave, Sludge Bomb, and U-Turn. A Choice Scarf, Latios, with Psychic, Draco Meteor, Shadow Ball, and Trick, because I don't want a potential Dragon Dance Mence to get out of hand. Standard Tank Aggron, Mega Aggron, with Stealth Rock, Toxic, Heavy Slam, Earthquake. And for the first time all season, we are bringing our Snorlax with Curse, Recycle, Facade, and Earthquake. If you guys want a full description of my team in general, like the EV spreads, that will be in the description down below. I don't really have time to go into in-depth in terms of team builders and all that stuff, or all the other stuff I have going on between other leagues and real-life stuff. So, as you see on your team on the screen, Rogue has decided to bring a team of Jirachi, Mega Pidgeot, Scrafty, Clefable, Blastoise, and the Mamoswine. So, almost pretty much close to what I expected him, but like I said earlier, I was expecting like an Amoonguss, because from the look of his team, in general, he didn't really have a good switch into Primarina. So in terms of potential lead, I kind of wanted to lead off with Tornado Styrian, but I felt as though that lead was getting way too obvious. So I decided to lead off with Primarina because I felt as though that would put the most pressure on his team, because looking at his team, he doesn't really have a Scald switching bar Blastoise, which is not really saying much, not gonna lie. And the fact that he didn't bring a Amoonguss makes my life so much easier, because if I get rid of the Jirachi, he also has no switch-ins to Moonblast, which is even better for me. So I'm going to try to apply pressure to his team as soon as possible. The main thing I want to know is which of his Pokemon is a Stealth Rocker, because he brought 3 potential options, being Jirachi, Clefable, and the Mamoswine. So with that being said, we're just going to get right into the battle and see how we do in this week. So we are being challenged by Blue Rogue. Have fun, my guy. So like I said, I'm going to lead with my Primarina. He's going to lead up with a Jirachi here, so immediately I'm thinking either going to go for like a U-turn or potentially a Stealth Rock. I don't really care either way. I'm just going to fire off a Scald because, like I said, he doesn't really have much that wants to take a Scald. So he reveals Stealth Rock on the Jirachis, which is nice. I didn't bring any hazard removal. I'm going to fire off a Specs Modest Scald to the Jirachi, doing well over 70%, which actually sounds to be a turn 1 crit, which sucks. He goes for the Iron Head here just to get some damage, but my Primarina is going to come through. We're going to fire off another Scald, and we get rid of Jirachi turn 2 and break through any flinch hexes for this game. So that is a perfect start for me. In comes Eric Miller, the Mega Pidgeot. My primary switching to the Mega Pidgeot is my Mega Aggron, so I'm gonna go hard into Aggron here, expecting like a Hurricane or something, but he is going to make the safe play here. He's gonna Mega Evolve, he's become Mega Pidgeot, and he's gonna do the safe play and just quickly go for the U-turn. So while it was kind of risky for me to go hard into Aggron expecting U-turn on my Pidgeot, I also wanted to get my Mega Evolution off on Aggron as soon as possible, because the last thing I want to be doing is switching in on like stuff like Mamoswine's Earthquakes and all that stuff. So he's going to go out into his Blastoise. So I'm going to take a gamble here. I'm going to stay in and get my rocks up. The other option I could have did was gone for Toxic. I knew this was a risky play because I did not want my Aggron to get burned and take residual damage. So we can just go fire off a Scald here, no big deal, and all that stuff. I don't get burned. I fire off the Toxic first. Sorry about that. The order of events are just kind of like iffy because it's been a few days since we played this battle. So I'm gonna go for a Toxic, put this thing on a timer, wear this thing down for the rest of the match, and now I'm gonna get up. I decided to get up my Stealth Rock here, but before I do that, I'm gonna go hard into Primarina because I don't. Like I said, I didn't want my Aggron to get Scald burned at this point in time. So now, he's going to fire off a Scald here. I do resist it, but I am taking some damage here. And now I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't see any leftovers on this Blastoise, as he does burn my Primarina, which is unfortunate. Now I'm like, okay, I don't see leftovers. I think you're Mirror Coat. I'm going to test that theory. So I'm going to make a double switch here into my Snorlax, expecting him to go for Mirror Coat. So in comes the Snorlax here. Do we see Mirror Coat on this Blastoise? I said Mega Blastoise. And we do see Mirror Coat, so I was correct in my assumption. So I make the safe play, and this Blastoise is getting whittled down even more thanks to the Toxic. So now he's going to switch out. I believe he wasn't a Scrafty here. Yeah, he wasn't a Scrafty. He gets the Intimidate off on my Snorlax. And I believe I just went for a Curse here just to see what his response to this, to my Snorlax was. I didn't want to reveal Curse too quick, but at the same time, I felt pretty comfortable about just showing him what my Snorlax is capable of. And because he doesn't have his Jirachi anymore, he doesn't have a normal resist either, which is great. So I'm going to go hard into my Mega Aggron here, expecting the knockoff, or expecting to go for knockoff. Here comes the knockoff. I take it like a champ. And with that, I'm now going to be able to get my Stealth Rocks with my Mega Aggron. He's going to go hard into his Blastoise as I get up my rocks here pretty safely. Now, like I said, I didn't want my Mega Aggron to take any unnecessary damage at this point. Well, more importantly, I didn't want my Mega Aggron to get burned. So, I'm going to call back my Mega Aggron here. I'm going to go right back into my Snorlax here because I want this Blastoise to burn my Snorlax because I'm running Facade. And I have no need for Earthquake because its Jirachi is gone. So he goes for the Scald on my Fat Albert. Doesn't get the Scald burn, which is fine. Now I didn't want to reveal that I'm Facade. So he's going to switch out. He's going to go right back out into his Scrafty. And I believe I went for an Earthquake here. I didn't really need to, but at the same time, I lost nothing by trying to get some chip damage off on something at the very least. Bar the Mega Pidgeot, which I know won't be switching in. So I fire off an Earthquake. It's -1. It's not stab. It's not going to be doing much to this Scrafty, which obviously has some bulk invested in it to go along with the fact that he's Intimidate. So now I make a hard switch into my Tornadus because I'm expecting the Drain Punch because I went to Mega Aggron the last time on the Scrafty, and I get the prediction right. He goes for Drain Punch here, which is great because, again, no Jirachi. He also means there's no flying resist. So I'm pretty free to fire off a Hurricane at this point. And I know he wants to keep his Scrafty around for my Snorlax, so he's going to go hard into his Blastoise. Take the Stealth Rock damage, and then take some poison damage afterwards. I fire off a Hurricane, we connect, and this Blastoise is not going to drop. And I'm like, why did that not drop? That's going to be a very specially defensive Blastoise here. However, the Toxic is going to take out the Blastoise, so that is going to be 1 kill for the Mega Aggron. So these rocks are up to stay. Let's give him a switch into his Mamoswine though. I decided to let my Tornadus go down here at this point as he fires off an Ice Shard, because I don't know what I want to see what his Mamoswine set is. The fact that he revealed Ice Shard, it means he's most likely not going to be Scarf. We see that he is Life Orb, which is great for me. So I'm going to go right out into my Weavile here. I'm just going to fire off a knockoff, if I recall correctly. Yeah, I'm going to go for a knockoff here because I lose nothing by doing so. I get rid of this knockoff, like leftovers from the Clefable. But he decided to go out into the Scrafty, which does make sense. Get the Intimidate off. And this Scrafty is a good response to my Weavile and my Snorlax. Go for the knockoff, reveals he's Rocky Helmet on top of that, so he was prepared for my physical attackers at the very least. So I'm now going to make the switch. I'm going to go back into my Aggron here because I'm like, okay, Mega Aggron was mainly here to check the Mega Pidgeot, but if I keep my Weavile around, it kind of doesn't matter in the long run because I still have Weavile around. I still have a Scarf Latios, which outspeeds it. So I felt really confident in letting my Mega Aggron drop here, but he's going to make a switch out expecting me to Earthquake to go for a Heavy Slam or something. I don't really know what he decided to go hard out to Mega Pidgeot for. I lost nothing by clicking Heavy Slam here because I was getting chip damage on something. I guess he just wasn't confident enough in the fact that Drain Punch would take out the Mega Aggron. It probably would have been a roll. But Mega Pidgeot does take out my Mega Aggron, but Mega Aggron did a fantastic job wearing down this Mega Pidgeot. I'm going to go into my Weavile here. I'm going to click Ice Field Crash. I'm like, okay, I outspeed this thing, no problem. And then I make the stupidest mistake of my life, and that's the fact that, this Pidgeot outsped me? What the hell just happened to my Weavile? And it turns out afterwards, I looked at my Weavile spread, and it turns out that my Weavile was 190 speed. It was not 191. And the reason was I was looking at my Tornadus when I was doing the Eevee spreads, and I was like, okay, I'll make my Weavile the same speed as my Tornadus. But then I forgot during the battle that Tornadus is the same speed as Mega Pidgeot, Timid Max Speed. So I accidentally made my Weavile the same speed as a Timid Max Speed Mega Pidgeot, and to make matters worse, I lost the speed tie, which was hilarious. I was like, I just threw away my Weavile for absolutely no reason. And it was just an error on my part. I laughed so hard when I found out afterwards that I was only 190 speed. So I'm like, just leave it be. I can't even get my Weavile a kill in good faith, and I was just laughing my ass off afterwards. But putting that behind me though, I'm just going to give the kill to my Latios here. Latios isn't really going to be serving a purpose because he didn't bring Salamence, so me having Scarf didn't really help that much. I'm going to go for Draco Meteor because the main thing I wanted to do was I couldn't lock myself into Psychic because he still had Scrafty. I couldn't go for Shadow Ball because I couldn't touch this Mega Pidgeot, and at least Draco Meteor would have forced in the Clefable, but he decides to go into Scrafty first. And I'm like, okay, I'm just going to give up another Draco Meteor because I don't need my Latios anymore. I mean, Latios was pretty expendable in this battle. I was expecting him to go to Mamoswine first. So I'm going to give up another Draco. It's -2, but damage is damage on this Scrafty. And as you see, even at -2, I still did a good chunk of damage to this Scrafty. He's going to make an over prediction and go for Poison Jab, expecting me to go into my Primarina, which I kind of wanted to keep in the back because he still had that Clefable and I could just nuke stuff. But now he sees I'm trying to sack the thing off. He goes onto this Clefable here on the Draco Meteor. I'm like, okay, this is what I wanted you to do, because what this allows me to do is I'm going to go out into my Snorlax here. Clefable didn't take any Stealth Rock damage. He's not unaware. So what this means is he's going to fire off a Moonblast here. I can use this Clefable as setup fodder because he's not unaware. And I eat my Figy Berry. I'm going to get nearly back to full HP. And I'm like, okay, I can start cursing now. He's going to fire off, he's going to throw up a Wish. And I'm like, okay, because you throw up a Wish, I now get another free curse. So before you try to Wish pass it into either Mamoswine or Scrafty, or try to stall me out doing something, I'm going to be at +2 defense, and if he goes on to Scrafty here, which is what he's actually going to end up doing, I'm going to be at +2 defense, +1 attack, and essentially, you won't be wearing me down with all of these Drain Punches. So I had to play this, these next few turns very, very carefully because I want to put myself in a situation where Snorlax cleans up the rest of this game. And that also means not clicking Recycle while I'm still at a good amount of HP, because if he goes for a knockoff and I have my Berry, I can't go for Recycle and bring it back because you can't recycle items, you can't recycle berries that have been knocked off. So I'm going to try to bide my time here, wait till my Snorlax gets below half, or to a situation where I feel as though it will be below half, and I'm going to click Recycle, and then get my Berry back and consume it, and keep myself at high HP. So he's going to keep on clicking Drain Punch here. I'm under half, but I went for Curse one more time, because I didn't know if the Drain Punch roll would have put me below half, so I didn't want to risk it. So now I'm at +3 attack and +4 defense. The only way this Scrafty takes me out is if he crits me with this next Drain Punch. And you'll see that he does not get the crit. So now I'm gonna go for Recycle. I'm gonna get my Figy Berry back. I am going to consume it. So now we have to deal with a +3 attack Snorlax, +4 defense. And now at this point, I'm just gonna start firing off Facades because I don't want to get too greedy with the boost, because a crit can come at any time, and I do not want to take that chance. So I'm just gonna fire off a Facade here. And this is a +3 Facade and does over half to the Scrafty. So then I'm like, okay, I can either go for another Facade or I can Curse up again. I'm not Curse up, go for Recycle, expecting him to maybe put me below half. But I go for the Facade here for the damage. So what I'm going to do now is, I'm going to click Recycle here because I want to keep my Snorlax as high HP as possible. I don't want to put it in range to where like some Mamoswine crit takes out my Snorlax, and Clefable at this point isn't really going to help him. So I'm going to Recycle again, get my Figy Berry back, we're going to eat it, consume it, and we are going to be back at around 80%, 80-85% HP, which is great for me because now I'm going to fire off a Facade. It's pretty safe because I know that Drain Punch won't put me at half or lower. So he's going to recover some HP, but it still puts him within range of a +3 Facade, which is going to take out this Scrafty. So Snorlax picking up its first kill of the season. He goes out into the Mamoswine now. I don't know what this thing's going to do. So I want to click Recycle just to be safe, and he reveals Superpower. I'm like, okay, this is gonna hurt. And yeah, that did hurt because it did a lot of damage because it's his Life Orb Mamoswine to a +4 defense Snorlax. So I'm going to click recycle here because I had a feeling that one of his moves would drop me below half. So again, we're going to consume that Figy Berry, and we're going to get ourselves nearly the full HP, about 90%. But now I get to fire off a Facade in good faith because he is going to go for superpower again. He's at -1, not going to do as much as before. And now I get to fire off a +3 Facade to a -2 defense Mamoswine, and of course it's going to take out the Mamoswine from there. So Snorlax picking up 2 kills in this battle, and all he has left is the Clefable. So that is essentially going to be the game. So unless some crazy thing happens here, he's going to go for the Moonblast here. Now, I didn't need to do this one thing, and I went for recycle here just to be safe, because I didn't want any random crits to ruin my sweep. So I could go for recycle, get the Figy Berry, and now I'm essentially at full HP here. He's going to keep firing off Moonblast. He knows that the battle is essentially over. And I'm going to fire off a Facade, and just to rub salt in the unnecessary wound, I crit him on the very last turn, which didn't make any sense in the word. So we're going to pick up a 3-0 win over Blue Rogue and the AFC Wormadam. We pick up our first win of the season. Good game to Rogue. He brought a very, very solid team. The entire time during this game, I was just my game plan was just trying to put myself in a position where I could sweep late game with my Snorlax, and the fact that he didn't bring Chandelure made it a little bit easier because of the fact that Chandelure was the main thing preventing me from clicking Facade on his team. He revealed afterwards that the Blastoise was a Salt Vest with Dragon Tail, which explains why it lived my Tornadus Darian's Hurricane. So that's another thing to note. And yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. It was a very solid game. I'm very happy with the result of the team and the result of the battle, of course. We pick up our first win. We are now 1-2. Our differential is back to 0. I'm ecstatic. Primarina picked up a kill. Kept it in the back because it still put immense pressure on the rest of his team. I'm sorry to Weavile. I will double check the Speedy Vs next time I bring you. Latios picked up a kill. Mega Aggron got a passive kill on the Blastoise. And Snorlax, the MVP, picking up the last 3 kills in the game, putting an immense pressure and a stranglehold on the rest of his team. But that's going to be it. I hope you guys enjoyed this battle. If you did, feel free to leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. Also, feel free to check out Blue Rogue's channel. His links, as well as all the links to the other coaches, will be in the description down below. I encourage you to check them out as well. Week 4, we are playing Donaki and his Rose Raidenborg. So, hope you guys are looking forward to that. I'm going to get the heck out of here. And until the next time, guys, my name is Anthony, aka Tone, and I'm going to catch you guys on the flip side. Later!